So, in the previous video, or if you have been watching my channel, you would notice that I talk about how spiritual manipulation happens. But the next question is, how do we know if a place is spiritually healthy or not? Here are five red flags. Certainly, there are more, but we are talking about the five today. Okay. The first one is, yeah, you slowly stop trusting yourself. So it's like maybe it's not happening initially. Initially, they will tell you, trust yourself, trust yourself. And then the trust starts breaking. And when does that happen? What is the sign? Healthy spiritual people will point you back towards God. And they might be even pretending that they are pointing you back to God. But unhealthy teachers slowly replace your discernment with theirs. They'll be like, you don't know, we know better. So before making decisions, you're asking yourself, what would they think? What would the teachers think, and not like, what is my decision for my life, what is best for me, and where is my universe, my God, who is like with me all the time, guiding me to. When someone becomes the primary interpreter of God's voice in your life, that's a red flag. All right, so red flag number 2: questions become dangerous. Now this is what I found. Even though they will say, we are open to be like, we are open, we are going to let you ask questions, and as soon as someone asks a question, they're punished, or they're banished, or they're banned from the community, or they are acted upon. So their actions and their words are not matching. So that's another red flag, right? So questions become dangerous. Healthy communities welcome honest questions, and questions about the teachings as well. Like, this is most important because I'm not too familiar with Christianity, but definitely I'll speak from the scriptures. And but in like Hindu texts, it's very important to ask questions. And this is something like, if you read the story of Nachiketa, which is the Katha Upanishad, it is talking about a little boy that questions Yamraj, which is the devata of death. And he is sent by his father to actually make him the guru, and he went and made Yamraj the guru and asked so many questions. It's such a beautiful Upanishad, if you want to explore Upanishads. But the premise needs to be that you need to ask questions to get more clarity for yourself. It's not like everything is answered, you are a robot. No, you are an intelligent being and continuing to grow your intelligence. So it's not like truth becomes the fear examination. But unhealthy environment often interprets sincere questions as rebellion, lack of faith, or ego. They will say they're questioning, it's an ego. So they'll say it's lack of faith. So these things would happen to me, and I laughing. I'm like, oh my God, you can't question my faith. It's funny. So, or lack of spiritual maturity. They'll say there's lack of spiritual maturity. So the moment curiosity becomes something to suppress, then discernment brings to shut down. And probably that is their pattern. They want you to shut down your discernment. That is like their steps and steps how to shut yourself down. Okay. Red flag number 3: fear becomes the motivation. So healthy spiritual organizations, they are rooted in love, or more like rooted in safety, I would say, more than love. So, but fear may sometimes alert us to danger, but it shouldn't be the engine of the person's faith. For example, if you're constantly afraid of making the wrong decision, displeasing a leader, losing your place, or being judged for asking questions, it's worth pausing and asking whether fear has begun to replace the freedom here. Okay? Red flag number 3. Red flag number 4: the leader becomes larger than the message. This is most important. Always see, if you're so fond of the teaching they are giving you, never place the leader above the teaching. Take the teaching. Teaching might be really excellent, but always see that the leader, or whoever has brought the teaching, like they say, I brought the teaching, right? So they say that just so that they can have power over it, and they can probably change it. You never know. But if it's a true teaching, it's unchangeable, right? It's coming from the divine. So one of the greatest signs of authentic leadership is humility. Humility. Yes, not in the disciples, but the leader needs to be humble. Healthy teachers don't want followers who depend on them forever. Yes. They want people who mature in wisdom. If everything begins revolving around one personality, one voice, one authority, something has shifted. Maybe it didn't start that way, maybe they're, but their actions are saying this. You need to look at the actions again and again. This is what I'm telling you, and this is what in the Bible also, like Jesus also says, look at the fruit. Look at the fruit, not what they are saying. They'll say, okay, you can question, it's a healthy environment, there's only love, we're only asking you to, look within yourself, blah blah blah. But actually, what is actually happening, the actions that are happening, there is fear happening, there's attack happening, there is control happening. So actions versus what they say. Red flag number 5, your world becomes smaller. This is important. So this one is subtle, okay, guys. You begin spending less time with family, less time with old friends, less exposure to different ideas. Gradually, your world shrinks. Healthy communities don't isolate people, they equip them to live wisely within the wider world. So, if you are getting cut off from the world and you're thinking, oh, I'm superior, I'm better, I'm like now, I am like the chosen one, or like you have disconnected from your like neighbors, say just like neighbors, that's a sign, right? Or you're so much into the community work, they're just constantly bombarding you, or with so much volunteering and work and everything. That means you're feeling disconnected and isolated. That's red flag number 5. So the important clarifications is these signs don't automatically mean a community is unhealthy. One sign on its own doesn't tell the whole story. But if several of these patterns appear consistently over time, they're worth paying attention to. Discernment isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone, it's about learning to notice patterns and ask honest questions, right? But also, there is hope. The beautiful news is that if you've experienced spiritual manipulation, you haven't lost your relationship with God. Isn't that beautiful? If you're able to make that discernment, if you're able to see it, if you're able to, make head or tail out of it, that is because God gave you that light in your third eye and you're using it, and your relationship with God is actually strengthening. People can misuse authority, unfortunately, but God doesn't abandon those who sincerely seek Him. 100%. 100%. My story, guys, really. And I will be sharing my story as well. One of the most healing discoveries I've made is that God is not afraid of my questions and He invites them. That is 100% true. And I ask really difficult questions sometimes. Yeah, sometimes embarrassing. Sometimes it's difficult to even ask those questions. It's important to ask them. I mean the healthy spiritual organization will actually have that kind of guru, that will have that aura, that welcoming aura, and he or she will be like, please ask anything, and I'm here to cover you and help you and support you. Over the next few weeks, we're going to explore how spiritual manipulation works, how to heal after unhealthy spiritual experiences, and how to develop the kind of discernment that leads to greater freedom rather than fear. Okay, if you'd like to grow with this wisdom and continue to develop your discernment, subscribe to this channel. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Which of these signs is happening with you? Are you facing something similar? Definitely leave your comments so that we grow this as a collective rather than just me here. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.